says here, this was the piece that I got to tell you how much I needed to hear it. It gives no credence and no blame to any past cause for your depression, anxiety, meanness, illness, or insanity. So as you know, I've spent years in the mental health system. And I've spent years with my anger feeling I'm mean. I'm a mean person. And I'm insane. And what's wrong with me? Why do I have this depression? And that sentence was like, stop. Stop trying to figure it out and stop blaming yourself for it. Mm-hmm. So I read it often. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe he wrote that. I've heard you talk about that, how this is about doing nothing. Mm. But when I read that paragraph, it's like he's in the room telling me that, and I feel so much better about myself every time.
Is that our old way of doing always sort of had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to read that, I'm going to succeed, whatever, whatever it was. And it's like, this sort of takes something, it's called the end of learning, but it's like, it takes something away from us, which is that going out to get thing. Like, I'm going to go out to get this knowledge, or I'm going to go out to get this
result.
Yeah.
To achieve this goal, which is not in the moment. None of that's real.
And I believe that we actually become incredibly much more creative and inspired in all of that, but it comes from a different place because we've turned off that other part that wants to get something out of it, or that thinks that we need to be fixed, or it's like, so it begins to just come.
Yeah.
And we are receptive, as Jesus says, I'm the first receiver. Everyone else is also a receiver as they take this course in. And you have a beautiful book cover there.
Oh, let me show. I embroidered this when I was studying the Course in Miracles. The blue on the outside is the illusion, and the heart is what's real. But you see, the heart is not just a plain heart, because within love there's so much variation in form. In out of form there's no variation, obviously. Love is just all one and the same thing. But I think what we're all learning now to do is to honor that variation. That's what this book helped me to realize, that how to live in Janet's body with all the various elements of Janet, and appreciate all the different various elements of Mari and this one and that one, but also to see what is exactly the same. Mm. And I work with some mental health patients who are just out there, way out there. They come up to me and start talking to me about things that I couldn't, have nothing to do with them, me, or anything. Yeah. And I'm standing there just looking for that love, and I'm realizing that I don't have to answer them when they do that. They just want to be heard. Mm-hmm. You can't answer. There's nothing sensible that I could say to them. Mm-hmm. So
just your gaze. I don't have a copy of it here, but I wrote a book after A Course of Love, sort of through a mystical experience, called Creation of the New. And I go through periods of where I read A Course of Love all the time, and then maybe Creation of the New, but there was a line in it that really struck me the other day, which was, don't confuse ego with dignity.
Yeah, I need to work that one. I am so used to not having dignity about it. When you have mental illness, well, I hate, I can look from this side now and see that, but when I was in it, no dignity. And we're not always treated, people with these issues aren't treated with much dignity. Yeah. So that, when you use that line, that word, is very precious to me.
Me too. Yeah. I know, it's like it reminded me. That's often what these things are. So, I'll open the Course of Love at night, and it's like, I'll read something, and it's like, oh, it reminded me. it's like just what I need. But
Oh,
it's a reminder. Yeah, and that's what that one was. That dignity was like a reminder. Came up
Yeah.
for something.
I kind of equate dignity with humility, because I think you can't have dignity without a form of like just this total surrender. It's not just this, oh, I have dignity. There's an element of such release in it for me, you know.
I think I was associating it with, so I'm in a time of, my life is changing. So I have been, this was, 15 years ago, Course of Love first came out, and it's only beginning to get popular, and I'm beginning to go out and talk to people, and so my reclusive, contemplative life is changing quite a bit. And what I think that the thing, it's like, it's hard sometimes to balance, like, so for many, many years, I had this incredible book that was getting no attention, and that makes you really humble, and I mean, there were periods I went through of, oh, what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong, and those kinds of things. Of course, now it's easier to trust the timing now that it's catching on, and I'm seeing all these people being so affected by it, but it also means something different for me, standing in my wisdom in a way that I haven't before. So this is something that dignity is talking to me about that. So it's like, it's not about, I think it's, in a way, it's part of not being selfless, which is what one of the things Course of Love talks about is, this isn't about self-lessness, but self. And this is about
oh God,
self.
I love that about
Yes.
This is not about serve and go out and take care of everybody.
Yes.
That was a really new thing for me, because my whole life was about you gotta volunteer, you gotta and I want to invite you, because people are going to start coming to you and saying, oh, Mari, why don't you try this, and why don't you do this, and it's going to, in my judgment, it's going to require a tremendous amount of going in and going, well, this book does not talk about pushing, so maybe I don't want to do that thing. I went through it I tried to start a group, as you know, in my area twice. And I saw that as I pushed, the first one in my house, it fell apart. I think I was pushing too hard. I was hiding it. I'm good at hiding that pushing thing I do. But the people finally made it clear to me. They said, this is too gentle a thing for you to be doing that. And then I tried again at my interfaith church. And, I wanted to be in charge. And it just wasn't working, and I've let it go. It's on its own, it's moving. And again, I'm going back into myself. I just want to kind of be alone. I do better alone with this thing. It's just kind of who I am. I'm not doing the Facebook group. Jesus is so with me when I'm reading it that right now I don't feel like I need, I feel so connected to you and to Mary, and that connection has helped me to feel close to this. So, but I relate to what you're saying. Then I just thought, no, you started talking to me about no efforting. And I thought, yeah, I'm pushing something that's telling me don't push.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
And what I feel is that I can only represent this course truly if I am true to myself. So I have to find my way to go out authentically as who I am, and not just do what people ask me to do. So that's my dignity. I think when I'm talking about
I get it, yeah.
Yeah. And so just talking about it helps me see what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
That's the great thing about dialogue. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's beautiful. I really honor you for recognizing that. And I do love that it's grown slowly.
Me
I
too,
really
yeah.
do.
Yes, it's right. It
Too
feels right.
precious,
Yeah.
too stunning.
And the
for
thing
it
is,
to
when you start to
come.
talk about the new, you know, when
Mhm.
you start to talk about the new, and you think probably nobody's going to get you, or they're not going to want to hear that, or whatever, it's like, this is what I'm finding. It's what's become so exciting to me. It's like,
Mhm.
people get it. People are ready. And
Right.
so,
And there's not many words around that thing, the new. There's just not many words to be given to it. You just know it when it is it.
yeah.
It's the new, yeah, it's so new. You know, it's like it's like a whole new paradigm.
Mm.
So yeah, let's
Mhm.
capitalize it.
Mhm.
And let's let's let it wash over us.
I think I've gone in a somewhat different direction. This, who am I?
Yes.
This, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
So I maybe had the connection very strongly with, it never goes away, not for one single minute, once you have that strong connection with Jesus, or, whoever you
Mhm.
want to call it. But then, now it's, who am I in this? And
Oh, I see.
Yes,
That's
so-
a nice question to ask.
yes, so it's the,
Who am I in this?
because we're not asked to be anybody else, or emulate anyone, or be one particular kind of holy person.
Right.
We're asked to be who we were created to be, this
Oh,
original
I like that.
self that you are and that I am, and that is not like anyone else on the
Mm.
planet.
That
Connected
I
through the
feel that
oneness.
very deeply, what you're
Yeah.
saying. Really, that may be my next step, is because I'll tell you, I have not known very well who I am. I think the bipolar thing that I went through and all of that really kind of split. I felt a lot of splitting throughout my life. The manic, the hippie high happy, and then the horrible fear.
Yeah.
And so that, I think I've been not quite, I said to Mary yesterday that I'm a mime. I'm a professional mime. So when I'm with people, I often become like them. I take on their physical
Mm.
movements. I take on their vocal tone. They don't even know I'm doing it, but
Mm.
I can tell I'm doing it. So I have had a lot of trouble with what this is. And I did have trouble when he was talking about it in this book. That's why I'm rereading it. I'm going very slow. I read maybe sometimes just 2 paragraphs a day, sometimes mostly almost 2 pages, nothing more. And I'm really wanting to get that, how to bring all of that, the whole thing back into this. And when I really feel it a lot is when I cry. My tears really bring me deeply into here. I was, just for the record, I was crying before when you showed me the books, the early Course of Love books. And because these books are like my best friend right now. And I know it's not the book that's my best friend, I get it. And I know it's not even the words. And I know it's even beyond Yeshe, which is my name for Jesus.
But we make these holy.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yes.
I mean, it's
That's
like,
beautiful. That's a nice way to look at it.
yeah, it's like by itself sitting somewhere, but
Right.
when we love it,
Yeah.
we make it holy. We make this
Yeah.
stuff sacred. Not, yeah.
That's
so,
right. That's right.
Yeah. I know, I think tears too are like, that's the great truth teller. When I get tears in my eyes, it's like,
Right.
it's the truth.
Yes, that's it. That's when I feel the core. My favorite poet, Khalil Gibran, he said, "He whose cheek is seared by his own tears is forever pure." And I'll say, well, then I've got gullies, I've got gullies going down. I am so seared. And I find a lot of people in the mental health field, they say, oh, no, I don't want to cry. No, don't make me cry. And I wish they could know the beauty. I cried so much while reading these books. And I still do. And I'm rereading it. And I just have moments where I'll meditate after I read it, and I'll just I'm with my eyes closed and I'm crying, And I just know that
It's a new kind, it's the new. These are new tears. These are not reactive tears.
Right.
They're creative tears.
And responsive tears, yeah. And this is what I see, and I look, I feel so tender towards people, particularly, it seems to be men, who could do all of this and stay in their head. And now they're being asked to come to the heart.
Yeah.
And it's so hard.
Yeah.
And you almost have a sense of, they don't even know what that is. They don't know what it looks like.
You're talking about men you've met who have read this.
Yes, yes. And that, and it's kind of cute. So sometimes I'll just have a man, when he's talking to me, say, I'm sorry, I haven't quite got this language of the heart down yet. Or, I'm sorry I use those business terms. Or, but it's like that, it's like it didn't even exist, this language of the heart. And it's opening.
Yeah.
It's opening up.
Yeah.
And it's not only men. Definitely not only men. Because we were kind of trained. We were all trained not to listen to our hearts.
Right. Very dangerous. We've been told that it's very dangerous to do that. Mm-hmm. And I find more and more, I'm in situations where I can't speak. My heart is the only thing that's present, and I have people say things to me, and I just sort of sit there and look at them. I don't know what to say. There's a whole chapter and stuff about tenderness.
The time of
Tenderness. Oof. God, how lovely that was.
Yeah.
There's not many words around that thing, the new. There's just not many words to be given to it. You just know it when it is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so new.